a comedy, drama film from 2006, titled 200 Pounds Beauty. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. Kang Hannah is an overweight young woman that keeps two jobs to pay for her father's stay in hospital due to Alzheimer's. Her first job is being a phone intimacy operator, where she listens to her clients' problems, offers comfort, and pretends to make love to them. Her other job is being a ghost singer for Ami, a famous pop singer who can't actually sing. Hannah has a big crush on Han Sang-joon, the director and son of the record company's owner, and she's best friends with one of the backup singers, Park Young-min. One evening, after Hannah accidentally breaks the wood platform she had been standing on with her heavy dancing, Ami scolds her for her carelessness, only to get jealous a moment later when Sang-joon barely checks on her but shows extra worry and pride for Hannah, even allowing her to hug him. Later, while having lunch together, Young-min scolds her for believing she has a chance with him and reminds her he's just being polite, which Hannah doesn't want to believe. She still remembers the only time she had a relationship and it was awful. The man had used her to make her buy his products, telling her she was perfect as she was, only to dump her after she signed the checks. Upset by this turn of events, Hannah stopped eating and swallowed a bunch of diet pills, only to end up in the hospital. That day she decided dieting wasn't for her. After lunch, Hannah and Young-min got matching tattoos, choosing for the design the African symbol of Hakuna Matata, which grants wishes. Some days later, Hannah's hopes get even higher when Sang-joon offers to give her a ride to her father's hospital and even invites her to his birthday party, and she spends the whole trip doodling the Hakuna Matata symbol on the music sheets. At the hospital, she spends her visit dancing with her dad, whose Alzheimer's make him see her as his deceased wife. The next day, Hannah receives a package sent by Sang-joon. It's a dress and a card asking her to wear it to his birthday. However, it doesn't look good on her when she tries it on, so she covers it with a jacket when she goes to the party. Things get awkward when Sang-joon's brother, Choi, asks her to take the jacket off, and everyone around the table can see how ugly she looks with that dress. Hannah mentions she's wearing it because Sang-joon sent it, but he has no idea what she's talking about. At that moment, Ami arrives wearing the same dress in a much more flattering way, and her smirk and the way she plays innocent show that she was the one that sent Hannah the package. Now feeling like a joke, Hannah leaves the room, and Sang-joon immediately guesses that Ami did this and why. She takes her to the bathroom to scold her and remind her that he doesn't like Hannah either, but they need to be nice to her to keep the money rolling. Unaware to them, Hannah has been hiding in one of the stalls all along and hears it all, so after they get out, she goes home and gets ready to kill herself. After sealing all the doors and windows with tape, she turns on the gas and waits for it to take her out, but her wait is interrupted by one of her clients calling her for comfort. Remembering what this client does for a living, Hannah gets an idea. The next day, Hannah goes see Lee Kong-hak, a plastic surgeon, who informs her all the surgeries she wants to get are possible, but they'll be very expensive. When he refuses to give her credit, Hannah reveals she's the operator that has been taking his calls all this time, and she has copies of all their conversations, which could get him in trouble with his wife. To protect his reputation, Kong-hak accepts to operate her for free. Hannah disappears for a whole year to work on her new identity. She throws away all her food and leaves her dog at a random neighbor's house, only taking to the hospital the basics. The only exception she makes is for a doll her father had gifted her, hoping she'd become pretty like it someday. While she undergoes various surgeries and begins an exercise routine, Ami's career starts going down, and Sang-joon goes searching for Hannah. He finds her apartment empty except for her dog, who returned on her own, and a message on the answering machine from Young-min, who is also looking for her. Song-ju also visits Hannah's father, who has no answers for him, but he does hold on to the doll his daughter gave him back when she visited him while still recovering. 1 year after Sang-joon's birthday party, Kong-hak removes the last bandage from Hannah's face and she can finally see her new self in the mirror. She's unbelievably pretty, and the best part is that it looks like natural beauty as well. Since all her clothes are too big on her now, she sneaks into the nurse's room and steals one of her uniforms, so she can wear something other than the hospital gown and go out for a walk. While wandering around, she realizes that the dress she's always watched from afar can actually be hers now, so she buys it and puts it on, feeling much more confident already. Afterward, she visits a shopping mall, where Sang-joon and Ami are doing a signing event. There aren't many people there, and the producer from another company makes fun of them because Ami, now that she can't sing, is acting in a sitcom that is doing very poorly. After the event is done, Hannah follows Sang-joon into the parking lot, trying to stay hidden but accidentally revealing herself when she checks on a delivery guy that crashes his bike against the boom barrier because he gets distracted by her beauty. When Sang-joon comes closer to check on the guy as well, Hannah gets afraid of being found out and puts on the guy's helmet before leaving. This, however, doesn't stop her from still following Sang-joon around. She enters a car dealership just to watch him, but a salesperson approaches her and after telling her how beautiful she is, he manages to sell her an old, battered car. She doesn't care about these mechanical imperfections though, she's simply happy that someone complimented her. Thinking about this makes her distracted while driving, and she ends up accidentally hitting a car in front of her. The driver is incredibly angry and comes to yell at her, But his attitude changes when he sees her pretty face. The same happens with the police officer that comes to check on them, claiming that it was the other driver that cut in front of her, which it wasn't the case, but the driver agrees. A female witness can't believe what she's hearing and demands the cop to ask Hannah for her license. The problem is, the license still has her old picture, so she's taken to the police station and kept there until someone can confirm her identity. Young Min comes in but doesn't recognize her, at first believing her friend is a hobo sleeping on the couch, so Hannah shows her the tattoo to prove it. Sometime later, both girls go out for dinner, and Hannah expresses her wish to go back to the record company and sing again. Young Min doesn't think this is a good idea. Everyone at the company is angry with her for running away and ruining Ami's second album, but Hannah reminds her not even her best friend recognized her with her new looks, so she just needs to make up a new identity. The next day, Young Min takes Hannah to the audition searching for Ami's new ghost singer, and introduces her as a Korean-American friend of hers called Jenny. Her singer impresses them all and they immediately accept her as their new voice, but Sang-joon gets a bit angry when he thinks he recognizes her. Luckily for them, he doesn't know she's Hannah, he just remembers her having stalked him the other day. When Choi comments on her beauty, Hannah freaks out and tells them it's all natural because she hates cosmetic surgeries and she would never do that to herself. Afterward, Sang-joon and Choi talk to their father to convince him to make Hannah a proper singer instead of Ami's ghost voice, since she has a natural innocence to her that money can't buy. Their father isn't convinced at first and even throws an ashtray at Choi for the idea, but eventually, he gives in and accepts. As Hannah begins a successful career as a model in advertising, Ami gets jealous and incredibly frustrated, because she wants to be a singer, not a sitcom actress. She keeps visiting Hannah's father in hopes of one day finding Hannah herself, and when the father overhears her complaining about her job, he tells her God is the only one that can do everything and humans do what they're capable of. Sometime later, while spending the day at the pool, Ami makes Hannah put sun lotion on her body while they chat, trying to get her to admit that she isn't natural. Hannah almost slips a couple of times but catches herself just in time, except when Ami points out that for someone from California, she isn't tan at all. Afterward, Hannah goes to a beauty salon to get a tan, but she spends the 3 hours covering her chest with her hands because she thinks the implants would pop in the machine, which is why Ami tricked her into going there. Kang Hak scolds her for this and assures her implants don't do that before telling her the problem is that Hannah still acts too shy when she should be showing off her body in a more confident way. The next time she goes to the studio to record her first single, she begins acting more daring like Ami, which Sang-joon doesn't like. He shows her a recording of Fat Hannah singing and tells her he wants her to sing like that, from the heart, instead of being obsessed with her looks, because Jenny will never be even half the woman Hannah was. She is very touched by these words and thinks this means she should confess her feelings, but Young Min thinks it's an awful idea because Sang-joon hates cosmetic surgery, and will consider her a fraud. Angry for getting her hopes crushed, Hannah retaliates by pointing out that the boy Young Min is seeing is the same kind of guy she used to date and only wants Young Min to buy stuff from her. Regardless of Young Min's opinions, Hannah visits Sang-joon anyway with the excuse of going over some songs together. They end up having dinner together, and Hannah takes the chance to ask his opinion on cosmetic surgery, finding out he hates it the same way she supposedly does. This confirms the idea that she shouldn't confess, and their conversation suddenly gets interrupted when Hannah's dog suddenly shows up because Sang-joon has been taking care of her since he found her in the empty apartment. The dog recognizes Hannah and won't get off her, so while chatting with Sang-joon, she unconsciously uses a word to make the dog lay down, surprising Sang-joon when the little one obeys. After dinner, Sang-joon gives Hannah a ride home and jumps in front of her when he notices she has a stalker hiding in the shadows. The man turns out to be the delivery guy from the parking lot, and Sang-joon calls him out for his behavior, even pushing him against some fencing, but Hannah asks him not to be too harsh on him because she understands what it's like to only be able to watch the person you love from afar without confessing. Some days later, Hannah tries to visit her father, but Ami is still there, so she gets out without seeing him. From then on, she puts all her energy into this new identity, which includes recording and exercising, but also burning all her old pictures. One evening, Hannah hears Ami trying to sing and how awful she is, so she takes pity on her and tries to tell her it's okay to do other things, using the same quote about God being the only one that can do everything that her father often uses too. This starts making Ami suspicious, and the next day, she finds someone has written "You're a phony" on the hood of her car. While getting ready for her first TV appearance, Hannah receives a call telling her that Young Min is in the hospital because she's tried to kill herself, and she wastes no time driving there, because her friend is more important than work. The doctor informs her they've found too many sleeping pills in her stomach, but she'll live. Already suspecting who is to blame for this, Hannah returns to their apartment to get Young Min's boyfriend's business card to pay him a visit and finds in the middle of the living room the home sauna that he had sold her. Hannah rushes to meet with the boyfriend at the company's building and enters the elevator with him, waiting for the doors to close to start calling him out and even hitting him with her shoe. When the elevator doors open again, Sang-joon finds them and quickly takes action so nobody sees his star in a bad context. He pays the guy off not to call the police, then tears off Hannah's skirt and ruffles her hair to make it seem like she was the one that had been assaulted. Afterward, they rush to the TV studio where Hana must perform, and Sang-joon tells her not to worry about the state of her hair and dress because they're going to love her voice. Hana hugs him before getting on the stage, where she begins singing shyly, but seeing Sang-joon supporting her gives her the kick of confidence she needs to release her full powerful voice. The public absolutely loves her, and Sang-joon makes fun of the producer that had teased him at the mall, showing he has the better artist. Hana's career skyrockets then, making the company a lot of money, getting fans approaching her on every corner, and one persistent hater that keeps writing phony on her posters, but at least her dad enjoys her music too. One evening, after having dinner together, Sang-joon kisses her and tries to touch her, but Hana remembers Kong Hak's advice to be careful because too much grabbing could reveal her body is fake. Hana turns Sang-joon down, but when she sees him so disappointed, she gets an idea. By using their cell phones, she guides him through intimacy by using her old experience as a phone operator. Sang-joon falls asleep after they're done, and Hana watches him from the other room while drawing the Hakuna Matata symbol on the window, thinking about how it made her wish come true. Moments later, Sang-joon wakes up and finds Hana sleeping on the couch. After leaving a glass of water for her on the table, he notices the drawings on the window, and recognizes them as the same symbol Hana had been drawing on the music sheets over 1 year ago. Sang-joon starts putting the clue together then, all the talking about cosmetic surgery, about not being able to confess, the dog's reaction, and even the same kind of hugging, Jenny as Hana. When she wakes up too, he kicks her out and tells her to pretend last night didn't happen. Some days later, during a party, Ami brings Hana's dad on purpose to see how she reacts while claiming he's just a fan. The man tries to give her the doll back, but Hana wants to keep up her lie and tosses the doll to the floor. Sang-joon cut in then, dragging her father back as he'd do with a normal fan, but Hana continues to pretend she doesn't know him, which is an attitude that disappoints Sang-joon. Young-min comes in then and grabs Hana's dad to take him back to the hospital after calling out Hana for her behavior too. Afterward, Hana meets with Sang-joon privately to confess everything, but when he says he already knows and he doesn't care as long as she keeps on singing, Hana starts crying, realizing she's never been anything but a product. Getting incredibly upset, she starts tearing off the posters and throwing her CDs to the floor, cutting her hand on the process. Sang-joon tries to help the bleeding with some tissue, but Hana tells her not to bother, surgery and heartbreak hurt way worse. The morning of her big concert, Choi brings bad news. They've received a letter that reveals Hana's identity and threatens to take it to the press. Their father wants to cancel everything, but Sang-joon finally stands up to him and, after reminding him which member of the family has made the company the success it is, he declares the concert is still happening. Afterward, Hana notices Young-min has brought her father to the concert. She approaches her in the bathroom to apologize for what happened at the party, but Young-min plays it cold, pretending it's just a random old man that she offered a place to sleep at after he got locked out of the hospital. When the show is about to start, Hana is too upset to perform, so Sang-joon changes her mind by pointing out this wouldn't be for him or Ami, it would be the first thing she does for herself. Hana decides to get on the stage, and the first thing she notices is Young-min missing among the backup singers and her father in the public, who leaves his seat and goes to the front to dance with the doll. Security comes to drag him out and Hana asks them to stop, deciding she can't do this anymore. She tells the crowd her whole story as she cries her heart out, and when she comments she doesn't know who she is anymore, Sang-joon plays a video on the screens behind her. It's her old self singing from her heart. Her delivery guy fan is among the crowd and begins chanting that it's okay, and soon the whole public joins him to express their support. Hana is incredibly grateful for this reaction, but she still can't sing properly. Luckily for her, Young-min appears on the stage and begins singing, allowing Hana to leave the stage and hug her father while an emotional Choi activates all the fireworks. Jenny's career goes down in seconds after the concert, but Hana makes it big, and now the delivery guy works as part of her marketing team. Now she has lots of new fans, but she has more haters that keep writing pig on her car as well. She also starts treating Sang-joon more professionally, standing up for herself instead of following him blindly, and Sang-joon likes this Hana much more and even gives her back her dog. In her free time, Hana continues to visit her father at the hospital to dance with him. Dr. Kong Hak sees a rise in clients for being the famous surgeon that fixed Hana, and is surprised to find Young-min in his office, asking for a whole body surgery too. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.